many fans you are in this shit.
All right, everyone, welcome back to MDG Media EUROTOUR stop number 4, the Swedish Open. This is the back 9 from round 2 of your MPO lead card. We're at the Ymergårdens Discgolfcenter in Borås, Sweden. I'm your host, Nate Perkins, the Perks of Disc Golf, and I'm here with the Finnish young gun, Elias Luukkonen. How are we doing, man?
Thanks, Nate. We're doing great, especially watching some of these players play some great disc golf. You see Dennis Augustsson and Niklas Anttila both going 6 under in the front. Niklas having that 7 birdie streak from hole 2 through hole 8, but finishing unfortunately with a bogey. Paul McBeth just a couple strokes back. Gonna be an exciting back 9 here. We have reached the halfway point of the tournament and strokes become more and more obviously important now.
All right, hole 10, we're staying in the woods here for this par 4. A really short par 4 at that, just 145 meters. Anything near this FPO tee pad is in a prime position. Backhand hyzer can cover a little bit more ground, make this upshot that much shorter. There's a little bit of OB that kind of curves into the fairway here and then wraps around this pin. It's maybe 6 meters deep and right of this bucket, so definitely a touchy approach here, but one of the more scoreable par 4s at Ymer.
Yeah, it's really all about this drive. The gap on the drive is kind of tight to hit, even though Paul makes it look not very tight there. And I believe he's a little bit short of the ideal spot, but still has a very good shot to the basket from there.
Oh, and Dennis pulls that forehand, and that is the gnarly kick.
Yeah, that looks absolutely horrible. The left side of this fairway is not good. From there, you only have a chance to pretty much pitch up back to the fairway. As we see Peter throwing a good shot down the middle. Also a little bit low, not getting a lot of distance, but that's a good shot to the basket from there. I believe this hole really suits Niklas's game. You can see going a bit higher with a slow disc there and just a perfect landing spot.
Yeah, this one is pretty simple if you keep it in the fairway, but as soon as you get off the fairway, things can get out of hand, especially with the OB up in the latter half of this fairway. Nice approach there from Peter. He kind of struggled there on that front 9. Let's hope he can turn things around.
Yeah, everything good for the guy, I hope. He's a very, very nice person on and off the course. As we see Paul having to shape an Anheuser flex forehand. Not quite getting that flex part, but still within putting range there. And Dennis was able to come back to the fairway from the woods after that gnarly kick, so I believe he has that for par.
And Niklas in the perfect spot here. Oh, tosses that tactic. Little too much angle there, leaves himself 9 meters.
Yeah, Niklas has been putting very solid. Only had 1 putting miss on the first hole, but after that been putting just absolutely phenomenal. That's another one right in the heart. He's certainly one of the, if not the hottest player in Europe right now.
Nice trap there on the left side of the chains, as they like to say in Scandinavia sometimes. Call it a trap.
I haven't heard of that one before, but I guess they do. And Peter unfortunately missing there from inside the circle. We did see some putting struggles from him on the front 9. But I must put some of those struggles up to nerves, because he said before the round that this is the biggest lead card appearance he's had ever in his career.
Good par save there from Dennis. All right, hole 11. Pretty specific shape here on this short par 3. Right-hand backhand is throwing a towering Annie, and there's just one gap that you have to feed your disc through. Joan is flying through it right now. The higher you go, the better, but the more branches that you bring in. Forehand does play, but it's touchy. It's really easy to throw it too inside or push it too long, so pretty specific shot.
Yeah, luckily we got some touchy players on the card. Paul during the last round didn't get enough anhyzer on this shot. Looks like he's corrected that, although that's a little bit inside, I believe. And yeah, you can see him hitting one of the inside trees. As I said, it's very specific. You have to go right at the perfect time in order to hit that gap. Niklas, on the other hand, absolutely parked the hole in the last run, going with that straight sensei, putting it high and with a lot of anhyzer.
Filters through the trees. Whoa, what? Gave it an ace run after it hits the ground. What a shot. He's 2 for 2 with that sensei on hole 11. Whoa.
Yeah, that was incredible. You can see he's got that angle pretty much perfectly dialed in. Dennis having to go with the little bit of a tighter line, which is the left-hand hyzer, but throws it just perfectly through the gap. He's even closer than Niklas there. That's a great upcoming birdie, and looks like Dennis and Niklas will continue their battle. They're tied right now and likely to be tied after this hole as well.
Oh no. Just a little inside for Peter and gets that early branch, kicks him down, and yeah, he's just been having a tough round. Sometimes that's how it goes, especially when you involve a little bit of nerves. You know, playing with Paul McBeth and, you know, the best player in Europe right now, Niklas. It's all these people watching. I mean, the gallery was huge today. Probably 500 plus.
Yeah, can't say a specific number, but it was huge for sure. You could hear it all over the course, and both of us, even though we were not close to the lead card, we could hear it on some of the later holes as the lead card was starting to play. It's great to see some of this European enthusiasm as Niklas taps it in easily from 5 meters. No surprises there, pushing his score to 8 under on the round. Through 11 holes, that's a crazy score.
Little attire adjustment there for Paul to get that jacket out of the way and put that par putt in. Dennis and Niklas going stroke for stroke right now. They are both 16 under. Just past the halfway point in the event. And we are moving into arguably the easiest hole on the back nine, 161 meter par 4. There is a potential for the eagle here. We haven't really seen anybody stretch this drive out and go for that eagle too, but it is possible. Most of the players are just kind of pushing one into the back wall there and then kind of chipping a hyzer through this gap.
Yeah, it's most important to just get the easy birdie here. It's the easiest hole on the course, statistically playing almost half a stroke below par. So all of these players will be very disappointed if they don't get the birdie here. Niklas throwing something very understable on a steep hyzer angle. That's looks like a great shot, but just slightly fading out to the left. It will have to be some sort of a slight hyzer or forehand lean out from there.
Yeah, that's Niklas's flippy PD there that he loves to throw in those lines, and Dennis getting that one to hold on just enough. Might have to go inside those trees.
Yeah, that's still a good position there. Having to shape something to the basket, only about 40 meters left from there. Paul also towards the left side of the fairway. That's just a fine position there. Really anything over 100 meters off the tee and not in the woods is good here.
Oh, and that one just fell out of Peter's hands. Tough day for the Norwegian. You know, I've always said that it's better to be on coverage and play bad than to not be on coverage at all. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And, especially for building your brand. You know, it's great that Peter still, you know, while playing bad, he's still not showing any sort of, you know, negative energy. So it's that's great to see, and I'm sure he will acquire some fans from here. As he throws a good-looking shot here. Gonna have a good chance to get that par there. And we saw Dennis also throw a great approach, and he's likely to be pushing his score to 8 under to continue this great round. You can just see how close Paul is. While slightly on the left side, he's got just an easy chip shot, kind of half putt, half throw to the basket.
Billy Engel made the trip with Paul's wife, Hannah. Billy's actually playing the event. Looks like he's doubling up, caddying for Paul. And this is the play right there. Jam it into the hillside and then toss your approach disc. I believe that's why this hole is playing so easy. And there's just not a lot of danger here.
Yeah, not a lot of danger, and the fairway being pretty wide for such a short par 4. Good putt there from Peter, getting that lone par as the other 3 guys will inevitably tap in for their birdies. So just regular play here. That's to be expected from the lead card, and you can see how easy they made this hole look like.
All right, hole 13 is another swooping right to left hyzer. You need this one to be tight, but you also need it to just barely flip up so that you can get that late glide. Dennis again is going to have to throw a pretty difficult turnover. And we have not seen a lot of birdies here on 13. Pretty tight early gap.
Yeah, one of the more difficult gaps to hit on the course. Niklas looks to have a good angle, but he's way inside there. That was the right angle to get to the basket, but now he's gonna have a really tough time even getting up and down for the par from there. So I believe Dennis has a chance to get a stroke here. Unfortunately not turning it over enough, but I believe that's the better miss. If you want to miss somewhere, you should miss a little bit right. And he's still putting. He's still putting from circle 2, which is a range that he can certainly make it from, as we have seen.
And that's the shot right there. That's what you're looking for. Flipping force on a spike hyzer angle and just around the trees. That's money. Peter going, hey, little destroyer here. Oh. Just spinning that disc out of his hand, man. He really opens up his hips and really throws a lot with that upper body, and it's just smooth. Almost like a Ken Climo, Barry Schultz kind of swing. More of an old school style swing than a true modern hit, but I really love it.
Yeah, you can see he's got, even with that skip that he got from the fairway, you can see the amount of spin that he had on the disc, able to skip from 20 meters short and inside the circle there. Niklas, as you can see, had a really tough angle. Had to go with a FD forehand to get that glide to the left. Just turned over too much, and Dennis has a chance to possibly get even 2 strokes on Niklas here.
Whoa! The man can putt. He almost sunk that one with not a lot of body movement. Ooh, and right out of the hand. Not what he was looking for. He's going to card a bogey here at best.
Yeah, bogey on this third most difficult hole on the course. As Paul McBeth will take 2 strokes on Niklas and at least 1 stroke on Dennis. Let's see if Petter can get this birdie here. This would really boost his confidence, I'm sure. And he does. That's a great one.
Moves him back to even par. Keeping his composure. All right, leaderboard's changing. Dennis takes the solo lead. Paul moves within 2 of Niklas, 3 of Dennis. And we are headed into a stretch of holes that are primed to pick up some birdies.
Yes, for sure. And starting on this hole 14, you have to throw something slightly understable on the left side of these 2 trees. Most players are going with fairway driver or a hard thrown mid-range. Hopefully keep it below the ceiling and slide it up to the basket. Can't turn it over too much though, because the OB on the right side is looming. Many players are looking to keep it slightly short or slightly left of the basket.
Yeah, good angle from Paul. Just kind of fading out a little early, leaving him just outside the circle there. Maybe circle's edge. Yep, flippy fairway there for Petter. That's scooting inside the circle.
Yeah, that's a nice shot there. Gonna be a bit of a scary putt from there though, as both Paul and Petter are looking straight to the OB, which is only about 4 meters from the basket. Dennis, obviously with the left hand, has to play this pushing hyzer, but this is challenging the right side OB, I believe. Actually does not end up OB, but he's a bit short right there, so not an ideal shot, but with his putting ability, certainly a chance for birdie still.
FD for Niklas. And he's just peered that angle back-to-back days. What a beautiful stroke there. Dennis from 15 meters. Ooh, strong bid once again. A little overcommitted there.
Yeah, seems like he's almost always perfectly on line with the basket, even while hitting the top flag there. Let's see if Paul can get it, and he does. That's a confident putt right at the gallery and at the OB in the heart, and gonna take 1 stroke from Dennis. So it looks like Paul is gonna be only maximum 2 back of the lead after this hole.
Yes, back-to-back birdies for Petter. He moves to under par. Oh, no way. 4-meter putt there for Niklas. Just, he kind of looked at his hand. Perhaps he needed to take another moment to dry it off, and he's going to maintain... Pardon me, he's going to stay 1 back of the lead.
Yeah, that's a tough miss, but that can easily happen since it's still raining, as you can see in the picture. And if one of those raindrops lands, for example, under your thumb while you're putting, it's almost impossible to have a good release.
All right, hole 15. It is so short, but it's kind of mean. Tiny little gap here, maybe 3 meters across. Very tough basket placement. It's like not just a forehand hyzer. If you just do the forehand hyzer through the gap, you're left with like a 10-meter putt. But it's pretty scary to shape that touchy little turnover through this tight gap. What do you like here?
I think the backhand turnover is certainly the best shot if you want to be parked. I personally believe so. And it looks like Paul agrees. He has a good shape on this, but that has to turn earlier. And he has gone OB left off the tree. Bit of a bad break there, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he was centimeters from the ideal shot. It gets inside that tree. He scoots up to the pin.
Yeah, very true. You have to just miss those trees to the right, and then you're perfect. Better also with his forte, which is a touchy backhand, but takes a terrible kick. OB left. That's going to be an instant bogey for him.
Putter, forehand, needs some help. Wow, we got 3 shots and 3 OBs. Not what we were expecting, Elias.
Yeah, not for sure. And Niklas probably licking his chops right now, thinking that he can get some sweet strokes on the competitors. Going with the opposite side, the forehand here. Hopefully fading just before the tree there. He actually does also hit the corner tree. You can just see how difficult it is to stay inside of that tree while still staying close to the basket.
And this is just so unfortunate. Okay, so Peter is not out of bounds right here. But a really difficult approach nonetheless. Has to baby flex this gator here. All right, that makes sense now. So he's OB on his second shot, and what a tragic little situation here on the 15th for Peter after just getting himself back under par.
Yeah, what a mood killer for him for sure, you know. Almost making that comeback to still have a chance for a good round.
Yeah, but that's from the barbed wire. 2 meters from the barbed wire. So this is 1 meter here and 2 meters up there? Or is it 2 meters everywhere? It doesn't really matter. I can just take my 1 meter. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. But you can go towards the basket. What, am I safe? No. Sorry. Okay, barbed wire. Okay. I get what you're saying.
So there's OB, maybe, 4 meters left of this pin here. A pure hyzer would be at risk.
Yeah, I believe Niklas still running this. That's challenging the OB, absolutely, but stays close enough. Maybe with the wet, soft ground helping him there. Paul would really like to save this par, to not lose any strokes to Niklas.
And shout out to RPM Discs out of New Zealand for sponsoring hole 15 here at the Swedish Open. Good to see them with some presence here in Scandinavia. And Paul has to make that for the single bogey. Whoa.
Yeah, he had a really tough roll after that missed par putt, and good composure there. Not taking anything more. A double on this hole would be truly catastrophic. As Dennis puts it once again in the middle, but gets one of the worst spit outs we have seen. That was a perfect putt.
Oh, that's just terrible. It happens sometimes off the pole, and you hate to see it. It's never good, but especially when you confidently hit one from circle's edge there to save your par.
Yeah, and that's the difference. That's the difference for Dennis not leading the tournament and actually being tied for the lead with Niklas there.
All right, well, hole 15 did not treat us very well. We played it 4 over, I believe. Hole 16, 92 meters, slightly uphill here. There is OB along the right side, and it gets really close to the basket here. A lot of trees in the way on this one. There's not really a pure line. I feel like you kind of have to get lucky late in the flight here.
Yeah, if you want to throw the perfect forehand and stay on the fairway, you're likely to be landing about 10 meters short. But I believe Niklas has no problem with that, and he's going with the slight flex forehand here. Actually a very steep Anheuser angle. Possibly trying to avoid that right side OB. And he's right there on the edge of the circle, I believe. Which is a good place to be for him, even looking at the OB, since he's such a confident putter.
See if McBeth can bounce back. He's also going with the flex here. It's a little high. Gets through most of the way, and he's right over there by Niklas. We're going to have a putt off. Paul's just 2 back of the lead now.
Yep, that's a very common play on this hole, to challenge those backside trees and hopefully to punch through them. Let's see if Dennis with the really bad grip lock there. Unfortunately hitting one of the first trees on the left. Believe he does stay safe, so still has a chance for the par there.
Peter kind of tugs on that one. Gets through and stays safe. What a fortunate little reaction there. All right, let's see what Dennis has. This is going to be a pretty crowded approach here. Look at that wall of trees.
Yeah, deciding to try and punch through the trees there. And he is actually within putting distance. Almost expecting him to make that, even after the bad spit out on the last hole. Let's see if Niklas can get at least one stroke here. Of course he can. No doubts, just outside the circle there. High in the chains, confident, even looking at the OB. Not scared at all. That's a big moment there.
And Dennis just bounces right back from that spit out. He has put on a show on the putting green for us. What a treat to just watch this talent just showcase right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, as Paul gets really bad spit through on the left side. That was left, but yeah, as you said, Dennis, especially with his very unique putting style, it's cool to see all of the different styles that you can putt the disc and still be insanely successful. Peter, great birdie, pushing his round back to even par after that unfortunate double bogey in the last hole.
All right, hole 17, downhill, 97 meters. One of the easier holes on the course. Pretty wide gap to start. There is some OB that creeps into the right side of this green, and there's a bit of a slope deep and to the left. So this is definitely one that you're looking to pick up before the daunting hole 18 finish.
Yeah, for sure. Many players here are trying to throw something slow and relatively stable. Throw it slightly to the right and hopefully fade back in towards the basket. Niklas going with that tactic that he's been throwing so well. This looks like a perfect line and actually hits the basket. Incredible shot.
Niklas has the heart of a champion. He goes bogey par par and just is about to back it up and get himself to 10 under for the day. He's going to crest the new course record after he taps that one in.
And Peter too showing off that touch, I believe going with a mid-range there. Once again, just parked. Let's see if Paul can match those efforts with the zone. You can see he's coming in a little bit hot towards the left side, but stays right there within the circle. You can see the green is kind of running away or sloping away after the basket, and especially on the left.
Oh, a little bit too much hyzer there from Dennis. Things have really slowed up for him.
Yeah, still in position to possibly make a great highlight putt, but he hit some of the branches, and that's actually gonna be still a long putt left for the par.
So Dennis is going to be 1 over on the last 5 holes. And Paul, this to stay 3 back of Anttila. Oh, of course, he's got it. Left side, that time it sticks.
Yeah, Paul pushing his round to 8 under. That's a great score. No match for Niklas though, as Niklas is parked to go 10 under, as we said. Denka with a great par save here, showing off once again that solid putting. Wow, really showing that you can pick up so many strokes just by putting well. You know, he's been almost flawless on the putting green.
Peter gets back under par. And there it is, first player to crest double digits. Let's see if he can maintain as we move into the hardest hole on the course, without a doubt. Playing a full stroke over par during this rainy round 2. It's a 235-meter par 4. The drive is all the difficulty of this hole. It is so specific, and you're throwing downhill toward this OB wall. You have to get it to kind of flip up and ride down that fairway and then fade before you get to that OB. And then if you fade too early, you're pinched because you have this mandatory that you have to navigate to the right of. You're headed back up the hill. Things kind of open up as you approach this green. Man, it's pretty nervy on this tee pad though.
Yeah, this hole is all about the drive. If you get the drive to perfect position, it's almost a pretty simple birdie, but that's easier said than done. We have not yet seen a perfect drive on a coverage here. Let's see if Niklas can do that. He's trying to flip it up to the right and hopefully ride and then only fade back, but he's fading way early to the left, and that's not terrible, but certainly not a great birdie position.
Kind of the good side to miss. You'd rather underturn it than, if you overturn it is when you start to find that OB wall.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to miss to the left, and especially with all of these great volunteering spotters that we have got. Shout out to all of them searching for these players' discs if they end up going to the left side woods. Looks like it's a common miss for this card, as all 3 players have gone inside left. And Paul might actually be in a really tough position there. On the hillside, gonna have a very sloped footing and many trees to contend with. All
right, big moment for Dennis here. overcooks the forehand, and that is cut rolling. And that needs to sit. Oh, and he's got the red flag. Elias, this is not looking good for Dennis.
Yeah, he's going to be throwing 4 from only about halfway up the fairway. Gonna be likely a bogey or a double even. As we see Peter playing the skip shot tightly around the corner, and that's a perfect shot there. Only about 50 meters left to the basket from there.
Yeah, a ton of control to throw a skip shot straight at that OB wall. Paul opts to pitch out from a very similar spot to yesterday's round. And here's Dennis throwing his 4th.
It's about 110 meters uphill to the basket from here. You can see he's turning the forehand over just a little bit and not really in position to get that bogey. So likely has to settle for the double. And you can see Paul's pitch up was actually a little bit short. So now he has to play this standstill inside hyzer flip to get all the way to the basket, which he actually throws perfectly, hits the hillside, and he's inside the circle there. That was beautiful, dude.
Yeah, he'll have maybe 7 or 8 meters left for a par. Niklas looking for the high hyzer here. Kind of flattens it out. Maybe doesn't have the height.
Yeah, it's not maybe in birdie position. He can give it a great run from there because it's a good backstop behind the basket. Even Peter from here, if he feels like it, he can certainly run the basket and still stay pretty close. Looks like he's kind of doing that, although lands a little bit short, and that's gonna be an easy par tap in there.
And well done to Peter for maintaining his composure during a difficult round. And he still gets himself to 1 down on the day. Dennis going to get up and down for his double bogey. Tough finish to his round. He's going to go 3 over on the last 6 holes.
Yeah, that's a really tough finish. He could have stayed right near the lead, but hat off to Dennis still for playing that incredible beginning and actually 2/3 of the round. Just incredible level of play, and still in contention for the win, I believe, for the next round, as well as Paul is, since he makes that for the par, only 3 back of the lead. Great 8 under round from Paul in the rainy conditions here.
Niklas tapping in his par to take that course record from the Swedes back into the hand of the Finns. How's it feel, Elias?
I'm really proud of my countrymate there, and that was really phenomenal play. Very few mistakes from Niklas, only 2 bogeys throughout the round, which actually even crazier to have 2 bogeys and still shoot 10 under. Very clean play, great putting. Looks like we're gonna have Niklas on top of the leaderboard, and Paul just 3 strokes back, Dennis only 4 strokes back. Bradley Williams making a push with an 8 under round here. Gonna finalize the lead card for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us here on MDG Media. Go give my guy Elias a follow at Elias_Luukkonen. And you can follow me, of course, at Perks of Disc Golf. And like and subscribe this channel. These guys are working around the clock through the night to bring you this coverage. And we will see you tomorrow for the final round of the Swedish Open.